Can sit in Sukhasana position. If I'm not audible or visible, please tell me so that I can change the settings, whatever possible. Sit in Sukhasana. Keep your hands in Dhyana Mudra. So first thing you should observe is the position of the camera and how you can observe. So when you, as a student, when you sit or practice in front of the teacher, ensure that your mat is, see my end of the mat is here, end of the other mat is here. So you can see the entire mat. And when I stand up, you can see me now also, right? So if I move to the left, move to the right, so I've kept it in such a way that it's about 6 to 8 feet the laptop. So whatever I do is visible to you. So arrange the camera like that. So that should be done first. Yeah. Good evening. To ensure that your visibility is good in the class always. Otherwise, the teacher will not be able to observe and give corrections. That's the first. And then we will start with the prayer now. Sitting with back straight in a crossed leg position. Inhaling, take both the arms over your head. Join at the top. Exhaling, bring to center of the heart. Like that. So what are the observations there? So did you observe how I took the arm up? Straight and long arm. The elbows are straight. It's not like this. And then when I exhaled, I brought it gradually to the center of my heart. So this is the heart center. So don't keep Namaskar Mudra like this. Keep Namaskar Mudra center of the heart. So you have to press your palms and the elbows are wide. So this is not the way. This is the right method. Then closing the eyes. Let us do the prayer. Take inhalation. Oh. Together. Vande Gurunam Charanarvinde Sandarshita Swatma Sukhavabodhe Nishreyase Jangalikayamane Sansara Halahala Mohashantyaye Abahu Purushakaram Shankhachakra Sahasrashirasam Shvetam Pranamami Patanjalim. Together. Oh. Now how to bring the hand down? Inhaling, take it straight up. Straighten your arm. On the exhalation, it will come down like that. To Dhyana Mudra. So prayer is over. Now what is the next? Next is loosening practice. So how do I do?
Today also I'll observe.
Lay down in Shavasana position. So the legs are together, hands are close to the body. Inhaling, point your toes forward. Exhaling, point it backward. Inhale front, observe. Exhale back. Inhale front. Exhale back. If you want to practice, you can do it. Inhale front. Exhale back. More importance, learning. Inhale front and exhale back. Now rotate the feet. 1, awareness. 2, toes are together. 3, heels are also together. 4, I'm going with the numbers. 5, opposite side. 1, 2, all the side. 3, 4, one more round. 5. Now bend both the legs. Keep it close to the hips on the mat. So the toes are together, heels are together, knees are together. Inhaling, raise the left leg. So when I raise it, the toe is pointed. Did you observe that? It's not like this. Exhale, bring it back.
In
Inhaling.
this one, the knee
right leg.
bends.
Exhale, bend. Please don't talk unnecessarily.
Okay.
Inhale, straight.
Yeah.
Exhale, bend. Please mute your mic. Inhale, right. Exhale, bend. Inhale, left. Exhale, bend. Inhale, right. And exhale, bend. Now together. Inhale, up. See the straightness. Exhale, bend. So you have to keep it on the mat. Inhale, 2. Exhale, bend. Inhale, 3. Exhale, bend. Inhale, 4. Exhale, bend. One more. Inhale, 5. Exhale, bend. Keep the legs there only. Inhaling, spread your arms sideways, shoulder level. So you must keep it in line, both the arms. On the exhalation, tilt your knees to the left. At the same time, try to look at the right hand. Inhale, bring it back. Look at the sky. Exhale to the right, look left. Inhale, up. Exhale, left. Inhale, up. Simple spinal twisting. Exhale, right. Inhale, up. So you don't have to replace your legs. Exhale, left. Inhale, up. Exhale, right. And inhale, up. Exhale to Shavasana. Hand down, leg down. Now keep the legs together, hands close to each other. Inhaling, raise both the legs 30 degrees. Little only. Little. Exhale, bend your left leg, chin on the knee. So the other leg is in the air. Release, right. Release, left. Release, right. Release, left. Release, right. Release, left. Release, right. One more. Release, left. Release, right. Inhale, head down and keep the other leg. On the exhalation, release the leg. See how much process is involved in that? So when you do that release, so what did I say? Inhale, raise the leg. Exhale, bend your knee and touch it. Now when I release, I must inhale. Then exhale again. Did you observe the breath? Like that. Inhale, release. Exhale, touch. Inhale, release. Exhale, touch. Inhale, head down. Keep the other leg. Exhale, release your leg. To some extent. Now you can see my stomach is a little tight because of that crunches. It's called Pavana Mukta crunches. So that these are all loosening. Now inhaling, take the arms over the head. How to take it properly? Did you observe how I took the hand? Take both the arms over your head. And exhale, keep your legs pointed forward. Now inhale, so when I stretch, you can see the stomach gone in. I'm pointing the toe, body is stretched, arm is stretched. Inhaling, left leg up. See the angle? 90. Exhale, down. Inhale, right. Did anything else move? Nothing. Only that leg. Inhale, left. Exhale, down. It's not difficulty in practice. It's just the focus. Inhale, right. Exhale, down. Inhale, left. Exhale, down. Inhale, right, and exhale. Three times, done. Now both. Inhale, up. Did anything else change? Nothing. Exhale. Only the leg is moving. Nothing else. Body, arm, everything is perfect. Inhale, 2. Try to bring it to 90. Exhale. Inhale. This also 5 times. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. Now stay there. 1, 2, 3. I'm actually looking at my toe. 4, 5. Without lifting them. 6. I'm trying to maintain straightness. 7. See, the legs are squeezed. 8, 9. Breathing normally. 10. Exhale together. So you should know how to bring them together, not one by one. And squeeze the legs. See, I'm controlling. What I'm doing? Using the abdomen. Now the abdomen is free. So that exercise is to tighten your abdomen, strengthen the lower back. After that, inhale, bend the left leg alone. Exhale, turn to the ground through the right. After lying down, keep your palm by the side of the chest. So don't keep your palm here. Some people I've seen, so try to keep it a little back. Not too much, but neither wrong too much front. Inhaling, lift your upper body. This is fine to start with. Exhale. Beginners can start a little more lower, no problem. Inhale. Little more. Exhale. 5 times. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. Now stay there. See the arch. 1, 2. So I'm trying to arch. 3, 4, 5. Exhale. Inhale, come on the knees and hands. Cat. Exhale, turn. Turn to the front. And keep the mic, because lying down the mic. So this is cat position. You can see the palms, finger wide open. Knees are apart. Standing toe. So this is called standing toe. This is called sleeping toe. Did you get that? This is standing toe, sleeping toe. So while doing this Marjorie too, it's better to stand the toes. Inhale, stress the left arm, right leg. Like that, both ways. Exhale. 2. Fold. 3. Fold. 4. Fold. One more. 5. Stay. 1, 2, 3. Look at the toe. 4. See the life there? 5. Exhale. 1, 2, 3. Look at the knee. 4, 5. Inhale. And exhale. Be ready for the other side. Inhale. Exhale. So I have to look at the hand. 2. Then only the intelligence will come. Fold. 3. Fold. 4. Fold. One more. 5. Stay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Arm up, leg up. 5. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. Exhale, Vajrasana. So I'm facing this side. You I'm facing to you now because I want to show you. Otherwise, there is no need for turning. So I sit in Vajrasana. Bring the arms in front, parallel, fist closed, spread, close. Can you see the spread? Close, spread fully, close, spread, close, spread, palm drop, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, one more, down, up, fist close, wrist, 1, 2, see the intelligence, 3, I'm observing, 4, consciously, 5, change, 1, 2, 3, all side I'm trying, 4, 5, shoulder straight, hands to shoulder straight, 3 straight, 4 straight, more, 5 straight, fold, touch elbow, rotate, 1, see the elbow position, where is it? Is it above the head or not? And back like that, 2, 3, 4, 5, change, 1, 2, see I'm trying to inhale and exhale, 3, when I'm talking it's not possible to do that actually, 4, one more round, 5, then interlock the fingers, inhale, stretch the arm, see that length of the back, 1, so the arm is used to align my back, 2, stretch and stay there, 3, lock the anus, 4, nicely lengthen your back, 5, exhale, hands down, inhale, sit to one side, exhale, release the legs, hands back, shake your legs. We finished loosening the arms, shoulders, everything. Now going to the neck. So after shaking some time, just relax your legs. Put chin on chest. Rotate your neck. 1. All the side. 2. Nicely enjoy that. Eyes are closed. 3. 4. 5. Change. 1. So what are the checkpoints? Ears to shoulder. 2. See, I'm taking side, back, all places, trying to take it. 3. I'm using my awareness to do that. 4. There is no pain. So if there is pain, I should not do too much of it. And 5. So did you see this tilt is important? When you tilt this side of the neck stretches. Similarly, when you do the other side, this side will stretch. So many of us don't do that. We do like this. So it will not stretch. See? It will not stretch the side. So we have to do side tilting of the neck. That's important. So this position is okay. Done. So after that, what is the last one? Forward bending. We did back bending. When did we do back bending? We did that cobra breathing. No, you remember? Inhale, exhale, that one. That was for the back. When did we do the twisting? You remember? We twisting by when we are lying down. We kept the leg bent. Tilt the knees to left, look right. Tilt to right, look left. So that was twisting action. So if you see, all the things are covered. Arms, neck, back, legs, everything. Except forward bending we did not do. That's why this is done. Inhale, take the arm sideways up. Bring it parallel. Then, so the arm is like this. Then turn your arm forward, bend. Initially, just touch the toe. Or if it's not possible, this is also fine. Okay, then inhale, come up again. Exhale. So I try to catch side of the feet by this time. Okay, inhale. I pointed to the toe. Exhale. Little more down I'm going. Inhale. So when I come up, see the toe has changed. When I go down, the toe will become like this. Exhale. So by this time, I'm getting a fairly good bend. Last one, inhale. So I lengthen the body. See, why do I come up? You see my side view. When I come up, so I was here. When I come up, I lengthen the body like this. See how that lift came. It's not like this. So I lengthen it. On the length, then I go down. Like that. Now stay for 5 counts. 1. See, the stomach is touching first. Elbows are also touching. Head is not required. For a forward bend, head is not required. It is the last thing to do. 2. Many of us, we do only the head like this. So that should be avoided. Try to bring the chin front when you do forward bending. First, navel has to come. Then chest has to come. Then chin, then forehead. So that length. 2. Try to stay there. 3. You'll feel actually nice when you bend. 4. It's a struggle. So whatever you can do, I'm okay with this also. So keeping the stomach first. 5. Last moment, drop your neck like that. So if you're here, you should drop it fully. Then inhale, sit up, lift the hands, point your toe, align your back first. On the exhale, hands down. Like that. Samasthiti aa gaya. See that Samasthiti? Then relax. Fold your legs, come to standing. So any doubts in loosening practice? So you know this is the loosening practice that we did this month. Huh? Everybody is practicing this only. I took about 20 minutes to explain, whereas it just takes around 12 minutes, 10 or 12 minutes. Any clarity anybody wants, you can ask. Otherwise, I will go to Surya Namaskara. I had some questions which came. Just a second. I think Sumati had some question. I'll do it in the, after some time when I reply that. Okay. Yeah. So no questions. I go to Surya Namaskara. So first we do the mantra. We come to standing position. Those who want to practice along with me can do that. So I have tried to ensure that my standing position is visible. But when I take the arm backwards, I may not be visible. It's okay. But my standing height is visible to you. Always when you start Surya Namaskara, never start from here, like middle and all. Keep front. Another thing, it's a good practice to keep your shirt in. What will happen? Otherwise, we'll keep pulling after each round. No? Surya Namaskara, when Om Mitraya Namaha tring, that pull will come. So don't do that. So if you're not comfortable tucking, no problem, but avoid those, what do you call, work on the dress while the practice is going on. When you take a break, it's fine. Otherwise, don't get, what do you call, distracted by your own dress or attire. So here I am. I start with Surya Namaskar mantra. Inhale. So first toes and heels are together. Inhale, take the arms over the head. I join at the top. Exhale, bring to center of the heart. Close the eyes, take in breath. Together. Hiranmayena patrena satyasyapi hitam mukham तत्त्वं पूषण्ण पावृणो सत्यधर्माय दृष्टये. Together. ओ Inhale, open the eyes. Exhale, gaze on your nose. Somebody who wanted to join, just a second. I wanted to share the details with her. Give me a minute. Just a second, please. I'm just sharing the meeting details with her. Just a second, please. Done. So I hope I'm visible. Now I'll do two rounds of Soham Surya Namaskar and then 2 rounds of, at least a round of Ashtanga Surya Namaskara. So I was here. Now Ekam is an inhalation. I'll be spending more time on the corrections or improvement areas. Ekam, inhale, take the arms backwards.
Dvi, exhale, bend your body forward.
Trini, inhale, left leg back. Chatwari, exhale the right leg. Pancha, inhale, keep the knee down. Exhale, sit back. Inhale, come up on the knee. Exhale, Ashtanga Namaskara. Inhale, chest up. Ashta, exhale and lift the back. Nava, inhale, left leg.
Dasha,
Exhale the right. Ekadasha, inhale, stand up, stretch your hands. Dvadasha. Om Mitraya Namaha. Second round. Ekam, inhale.
Dvi, exhale.
Trini, right leg, inhale, head up.
Chin up, look at the eyebrow.
Chatwari, exhale. High plank, straight line. Pancha, inhale, knee down. Exhale, sit back. Shat, inhale, come up on the knee. Exhale, knee, chin, chest. Inhale, upper body.
Like a cobra.
Ashta, exhale. Adho-mukha. Nava, inhale, right leg.
Chin up, like that. See this throat.
Dasha, exhale. Ekadasha, inhale. Dvadasha. Om Ravaye Namaha. So from there, Samastiti, inhale, hands up, exhale, hands down. Now just touching through the important points. Who all are there in the class? Varshit, Prashanti, Sumati, Sonal, okay, Srinivas, Shweda, all of you there. So one of the important points is that what is the first asana there? What was it? Hasta Uttanasana. So many of you may be, so first thing is Namaskar Mudra. Your toes and heels have to be together and hands should be tight. So what is this asana called? Tadasana. From there, I come to Namaskar Mudra. Inhale, arms over here. You don't have to do. You have to just observe, okay? And exhale to heart center. Observe more, okay? Today, just sit for a while. Those who are immediately don't start practicing, yeah. So the first asana is Namaskara Mudra. So what we have to keep, the hands should be like this. So some of you may be keeping like this. So this is Anjali Mudra, whereas this is Namaskara Mudra. Did you observe the difference? So in Namaskara Mudra, the palms are pressed and the elbows are wide. Whereas in Anjali Mudra, it is just Namaste. So avoid doing this. That is only Namaste. Now this is Namaskara Mudra. So that's the first important point while doing Surya Namaskar. Second thing, I'm talking about the first asana, which is the Pranamasana. So the toes and heels are together. Hands are close to the body when you start. When you inhale, the arms are going up. And when you exhale, the palm comes to the center of the heart. So these are the important points in the first Pranamasana. Second important point is the second position. So when you bend back, try to reach the arms back. So when you bend back, don't keep the hands joined like this. So try to keep the arms separate this way. You can see that the arms are pulling the body backward. If you keep like this, the effect of that bend will not come. So try to push the hip forward and the arm backwards. So from here, when I bend, I inhale, take the arms up and back like that. So try to reach the arm backward, hip forward. Generally, children, what they do, they keep the hip also backward like this. Did you see that? Now this is a wrong posture. So the hip should not be pushed back when you take your hand back. The hip should be pushed forward when your hand goes back. So the arm and the head will go backwards. The hip will move forward, whereas the knee will not bend. When you do Hasta Uttanasana. So I think there are some children in the class. I can see Varshit is there. And I can see this man, what's his name? Tanmay was there. So for you, so when you bend backwards, try to take the arms parallelly and bend back. Like that. So don't bend your elbow or wrist like this. Keep the arms straight and parallel. Okay. Now, that's the important point of the Hasta Uttanasana. What is the third position? Pada Hastasana. So when you come from there, bring the head last. Don't bring the head first like this. Don't bring the head first. Try to bring the head last. See, the head is coming last moment. And I'm looking at the nose when I'm coming down. Like that. Even if the head does not touch, it's okay. But your stomach and chest should touch. Like that. So what is the important point of this movement? Come navel first, chest second, head last. So lead with the navel when you bend forward. From here, last moment, the head will come down. Okay, that is the importance of that action. So that is Dvi. What is Trini? Is left leg back, inhale, chin up. So from here, left leg back, take a good step. It should not be short like this. But this is not your Ashwasanchalana. So this should go a little back and the quadriceps should stretch when you take that leg back. Shin bone will be perpendicular here. So thigh to shin will be perpendicular. There is no need for keeping the full palm on the ground. You have to keep the fingertips and chin up. Now when you do this, you can keep even the front finger because weight is on the leg, there's nothing on the hand when you do Ashwasanchalana. Weight is on the front leg. You can see the throat is stretching for me. And I'm looking at the eyebrow. So this is Ashwasanchalana. You should not lift up like this and all. Your fingers should not leave the mat. So I'm getting a stretch here, getting a stretch on my throat, and my chest is lifting up. So this is Ashwasanchalana. So majority weight is on the leg, not on the hand.
That was an inhalation. On the exhalation, I take the other leg back. This is high plank, not this. Tanmay and all, you're doing like this. And so some people are doing like this also. The both are incorrect. So middle position you should get. Looking at the nose. Chin is not down. Chin is not up. Chin is neutral. You're looking at the nose. So this is high plank or Adho Mukha Dandasana. Inhaling, keep the knee down. When you exhale and sit back, your toe will become sleeping. I'm having a mic, so it is obstructing me. So the elbow will not bend yet. So buttocks is touching the heels. Forehead is touching the mat. Arms are stretched. Arms are not like this. Arms are stretched in front like that. Now inhale, come up on the knee like a cat again. Exhale, when I go down, the chest should go front of the wrist. You saw that where I kept my chest. It's not here. Chest went in front. Prashanti and all, observe that. Because I could see the position of your elbow should come above the wrist in this asana. Then from here, slip the toe. Inhale, lift your upper body. How do I come up? Did you see the cobra coming? It's not like this. So some people are coming like this. Head first, chest last. You have to bring the chest first, head last. Chin and chest together. Then head last. Then exhale to downward facing dog. So here, don't make back like this. Back will be concave. Like that. I hope you can hear me. If I'm not audible, you have to tell me, okay? Because the mic may cause some problems in between. Okay, this is down dog. What are the important points? Don't do like this. Do like this. Closer to the stomach, closer to the thigh. Now, inhaling, left foot front. This already I explained. So again, I'm coming to the same point. On the exhalation, other leg. Ekadasha. Inhale, take the arms forward and stretch it back. Exhale. Then take a quick in breath. Om Mitraya Namaha. Then directly inhale and go to the next round. So I have explained all the important points which came to my mind today about Soham Surya Namaskara. I will explain, I'll do the Ashtanga B Surya Namaskara once and then explain few important points in that, hardly one or two. And then we'll discuss any doubts you can ask, I'll clarify them. Now I'm going to do Ashtanga B Surya Namaskara. Samastiti. How many steps are there? 17 steps. Saptadasha. Samastiti. Observe my breath. I hope my breath is audible to you. Every step is numbered. Every breath is numbered. When you practice Hatha Yoga, all these are numbered. There is no choice. Touch the ground. Then inhale, hands up. I will not talk now. Now 5 breaths. One. Two. Three. Four. Five. Panchadasha. Shodasha. Saptadasha. Samastiti. So that was Ashtanga B Surya Namaskara. Now, the important points in that. First one, many people, you're not touching the ground, inhale, hands up. So directly you're doing this. That's wrong. So first, bend the knee, touch the mat, then inhale, hands up. So the depth will come. And the hand should be together, not separate. Like that. That is first. Then one important point. Another important point is the back leg. So from here, when you do that Virabhadrasana, taking left leg front, this leg should not bend. This leg, knee should be straight and the heel should be grounded in Virabhadrasana. So Virabhadra, you have to do like this. This knee, see this knee, 90 degree. This knee, 0 degree. Arms up, Virabhadrasana. You can feel that strength of the body when you do that asana. People are doing like this and all. So that effort will not come. And don't do this also. This one. That is in Chandra Namaskara, not Surya Namaskara. So turn the back leg, heel on the mat, hands up. Virabhadrasana. Exhale. Chaturanga. Inhale. Like a cobra, you to come. Exhale. Other side. Inhale. All one inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Okay. So those were the two important points that I wanted to explain to you. So I've covered both Surya Namaskara that we do this month. Any doubts or any suggestions on Surya Namaskar? Anybody? I can reply you.
Sir, is the breath count the same for all the steps except for that Adho Mukha Svanasana where we have an extended five breaths? So for everything else, breath count, is it the same? Especially because in Ashtanga B, the action is more when we get into the warrior pose and again we go down and again we come up. So is there any difference in the count or is it all the same across all the steps?
Same. It is same. One action will be one side of the breath. Like when you are in Adho Mukha Svanasana, you finish that exhalation, right?
Yes.
Now, the entire next step is one inhalation from here. All one inhale. One exhale. Listen to my breath. So every action was synchronized with one side of the breath. So that warrior is in one inhale. Coming back to Chaturanga is one exhale. Then the other side warrior is one inhale. Coming back is one exhale. So like that, it should be practiced.
And it's normally 4 counts, no? 4 bell counts that we practice this Surya Namaskar. Like,
Yeah, no.
When the background bell.
That is here. It is different. So each step has been various timings are there. So if you see that Urdhva Mukha Svanasana is for this one 4 seconds. Adho Mukha Svanasana is also 4 seconds. But
Okay.
when you do the warrior, taking the leg,
Okay.
bending, then inhale, hands up, that is 5 seconds. Then bring the hands down, taking the leg,
Okay.
going down is
Okay.
also 5 seconds. So those breaths are longer than the
Okay.
other breaths. You can just
That's what I wanted to know, sir. So yeah, these steps are 4, whereas the other warrior poses and coming down and all is extended to 5, given that there are additional steps that needs to be taken care of.
yes. It is longer. So the
Okay.
timing
Okay.
I have prepared for the Surya Namaskara is like that. All the bells are not same. Each bell is different. So Ekam inhale, stretching the arms backward, it's 4 this one interval 4 seconds. Dvi exhale and bend forward is a long travel. That is 5 bells, 5 seconds. Trini inhale, left leg back is 4. Chatwari exhale, the right is 4. Pancha, all these short movements are 4, whereas all the long movements are 5 seconds each.
Okay.
Yeah. In
Okay, sir.
Samadha,
Thank
Surya
you.
Namaskara, Chandra Namaskara, this various different timings are there. It has been prepared with previous experience, whatever I have found from students like that.
So in the class, it seems very fast, this particular asana. So it becomes very, it seems like very fast during the class.
Who is this? Who is this? Can you name yourself?
Naveen here.
Okay.
So during the class, what happens is when we do this, like the breathing control goes for a toss because it seems very fast. So not able to.
So that means you are taking extra breaths in between. You are not able to take that long inhalation and long exhalation. That's what you're saying.
In Ashtanga we.
So that comes with experience only. So when you consciously try to breathe like that, then only it will happen. Otherwise, because you have to decide, okay, whatever comes, I will take this step in one inhale only. No, so that you have to keep the thing in mind. And then when I take the leg back, exhale, go down to Chaturanga Dandasana, I will take only one exhalation. So if you keep it in your mind and monitor your breath, then it will work. Because if you say in Surya Namaskara, you cannot take multiple breaths. One movement has to be one breathing only, because it's a dynamic, it's a flow, it's a dynamic action. So if you take one wrong breath in between, the next step will go for a toss. It will when you are supposed to inhale and lift your upper body, you will be exhaling. So if you observe the video which I showed you, just now, you can just when I upload, you can watch it. I hope you're able to hear the breath which I was taking. Then you will be able to understand how I planned. And see, many of the times what happens is we don't know the step. So when you're here in downward facing dog, now if you don't know the next step, you will wait for my instruction. Okay, now right leg, front, bend the knee in. So by the time you listen and then you realize this is what is done, already the time for taking that step is over. I'm not telling it's you. I'm telling most of the people, beginners and all, what they will do, they will first listen. Okay, now right leg. Now they will think, okay, right leg. Then they will take the right leg. By the time, at least maybe 1 second is over. So then they will feel, how to catch up. The reason for they not able to catch up with the correct speed is that, generally I'm telling, they may not be aware of the step. If you know what is coming next, then you know in advance, now the right leg is going. So when the bell starts, immediately my action starts. So the entire 5 seconds I will get to take that step. Whereas a person who does not know the step, the first second or the first 2 seconds are lost
in realizing what is to be done. And then he gets only, or he or she gets only 3 seconds to take that action. So you will naturally feel, I'm not able to catch up. So more of it is awareness and the decision in mind that I need to take the breath, 1 breath per action. I cannot take longer than, see, if I tell tomorrow, I'll say, okay, the next step has to be 7 seconds inhalation. Half the people will stop their breath in between, exhale, then inhale and go up. So because see, whatever, every person cannot extend their breath like that. So when I do like this, like, it's now 5 seconds. Five seconds. 4. 5. 4. 4. 5. 5. 4. 4. 5. 5. 4. 4. Now in this entire process, where did I go fast? Tell me that.
Yeah, correct. You you did very gracefully. Yeah, I'm not able to do that. I'll try.
The reason I will tell you. The reason is 2 things only. I know exactly when should I start. I know exactly what is the next step. I know exactly when the breath inhale starts, when it has to stop, and I will not allow for the breath to go off my mind. Exactly when the hand touches, my inhale will be over. Exactly when I reach that low plank, my exhale will be over. So I'm regulating the breath here with the rhythm in my mind. So I'm not saying that you are doing wrong. So what is required is more of churning our own mind, more of experience. Practice. Okay. So knowing what is to be done. So what your question you asked, maybe there in many other people's mind. So it will help. Good that you asked. It will help others also to clarify. So just keep practicing. Gradually, you will get that involuntary response in the mind. Okay, ekam means this. Dvi exhale, 3 inhale, chatwari jump back. So all that will get programmed in such a way that it's an involuntary process. Automatically things will flow. Then your breath, mind, steps, everything will come in line.
Sir, in Ashwashanchalanasana,
yeah.
The back foot is curled outside, or is it on the toes? The back knee is on the mat. Foot is also curled outside, right?
It's a standing toe. There are 2 reasons for that. So when you do Ashwashanchalanasana, from here, this is Padahastasana. 3 inhale, take the left foot back. This toe is standing toe. Don't sleep it. You can keep this toe standing toe. This way. And then when you exhale, take the other leg also to the same position. So the main reason for that is when you keep the toe standing toe. Yeah, are you there? I hope the person who asked the question is there. Are you there online? Yeah. So 2 reasons for that is, one is it's easier to get a balance there. If you sleep the toe, the balance will not come properly. And then the full load will come on the knee. So generally when you practice, to minimize the impact on the patella, if you keep like this, you will get a little load on the feet as well. So when you do Ashwasanchalana, you have to keep the back toe standing toe, not sleeping toe. When you exhale, anyway, you're going to do standing toe. Both the toes will be standing toe. So otherwise, you'll have to, from here, when you take the other leg back, then again you'll have to do standing toe.
So as I said, two reasons. One reason is keeping minimum load on the knee so that the patella does not damage, and getting proper balance and looking to the sky. Is it clear? Okay. Any other questions? Anybody else? Okay, done. So we completed all the Surya Namaskara. So what do we do after that? We do the eye rotations and the focusing of the eyes. So I don't think much to be done on that. The only thing is, when you do the eye rotations, if you did not sanitize your hands or you did not wash your hands, it's better to catch your waist and do it. So when you do, you can, keeping the feet apart, catching the waist, you can do it. If your hands are clean, you washed your hands before the class, keep it on the eyelids, open it far away and rotate. So try to look all the corners of the eye, both ways, 5 rounds and 5 rounds each. So you'll get proper blood circulation in the eyes. And then after 5 + 5 rounds, catching the waist, inhale, gaze on your nose, tip of the nose. Exhale, look at the wall. Inhale, nose. Exhale, wall. So like that, 5 times we will do. That's for the improvement of the lens in the eyes. So do that 5 times each. And then we do, what is the next practice before asana practice is Udhyana and Agnisara Kriya. So in Udhyana, your feet should be apart, shoulder distance. I'm standing like this so that you can view the practice. Keeping the hand firm on the knee, keeping the back straight, ears close to the shoulder, like this. Don't do this. This is required for Udhyana Bandha. Why? Because the stomach goes in properly only if you keep your elbows high, close to the ears, looking down. Don't look up when you're doing Udhyana. Look down on the mat. Then take an in-breath. Exhale like blowing a candle. Pull the stomach. Like that, you have to suction it. And then hold for about 12 to 15 seconds. Then inhale and release your stomach. On the exhale, both the knees straight. And repeat the same with the knees straight. And what is the other practice? Agnisara Kriya. Bend the knees. Agnisara is pumping stomach. Inhale. Exhale through the mouth. Start pumping. So after about 12 to 15 seconds, stop the pumping and inhale. Same practice is done with the knee straight also. And the last one will be standing Udhyana. Bending the knee, inhale. Exhale through the mouth. Pull your stomach, stand up. Inhale, stomach comes out. Exhale, put your hands down. Like that. So that is Udhyana Agnisara Kriya. Any clarification still now?
Sir, the exhale in this one, the exhale, what I feel sometimes is that the stomach is not empty. Like, should it be long exhale or very because generally when you say exhale, it seems like very short.
Okay.
But I feel like my stomach is not empty. Like the
yeah,
air
you
is
can.
not out.
Yeah, come. So it will be like, it's a powerful exhale. Like, it's a powerful exhale. So don't what do you call, shrink your mouth. So it's like blowing a candle. Like, so it aerates the mouth also, your gums, teeth, and all, and it'll inflate the cheeks. So don't do like. If you're doing slowly, then it may take longer time. So, you know, the idea behind mouth breath, there is a reason. It's written in the books. Is that
See, once you inhale, the air is taken in. Now, you need to get long time of holding that dhyana or agnisara. I need long time to maintain that. So quickly you have to start that process. So I should not give long exhalation between that inhale and the action starting point. So I have to empty the lungs as early as possible to start that action so that I can maintain the agnisara or udhyana for a longer duration. So that's why we breathe out through the mouth. Otherwise, inhale is through the nose. We can inhale through the nose only, but exhale through the nose only. If you exhale through the nose, it takes longer time to exhale. And by the time the oxygen level will start dropping in the blood. And therefore, you will get shorter time for Udhyana Bandha Agnisara Kriya. So, in Agnisara Udhyana, to increase the duration of the action, I have to exhale fast. So, I breathe through the mouth. And pull quickly. So, I don't lose much time to start the action. Hope I'm clear. Yeah. So, any other clarification in what we did till now? Okay, so there is no other clarification. Then I go to Parshvakonasana, Parivarta Parshvakonasana. Samasthiti. I'll tell you the important steps, okay, so that I don't miss much time. So here, what we should do, we should take an inhale. See, the inflation has happened. Ekam exhale, leg out. So see the distance. This much is required. So this, if you do this much, gone. See, if you do only this much, now I'll show you where the error comes. So imagine I took only, say, about 3 feet distance, which is good for Trikonasana, not for Parshvakonasana. This is an exhalation. Now inhale, turn the right foot, look right. Now when I exhale and bend the knee and keep the hand, look at the knee position. Now where is the symmetry here? Did you see this knee has gone front? This angle has become less than 90 degrees. My body, now when I stretch the arm, it will be like here it's high and here it's low if I keep it on the ear. The reason for all this error is that I did not take this step properly. So that step, how long that step, that is very important. So inhale. I have inhaled completely. Exhale. It's a long step. Now inhale, turn the foot and look right. When I exhale, now see the position. Did you observe? Now the 90 degree came. Now when I inhale, take the arm on the ear, it will become straight line. Now that straight line came. Exhale is going on. Now inhalation. 1. Second breath is going on. 2 breath. So this, don't do this. Try to rotate your shoulder up. 3. Exhale, hands back. This hand came back, looking down. Inhale, stand up. Look right. Exhale, turn. And then do the other side. So what are the important points of this asana? Keeping that step properly. Trying to rotate. So don't do Parshvakonasana like this. So your head is side of the arm. This is correct. Did you see that? The shoulder came above the head level. Don't do this. So this is not Parshvakonasana. Your leg is correct, but the side of the body is not correct. So this is Parshvakonasana. So this alignment, right heel to the right hand, one line. Observe that line. Did you observe that straight line which I'm trying to make? This intelligence has to come in your experience. Parshvakonasana. There is no load on this hand. This hand is free actually. Weight is on this leg, this kneecap, the patella, the tendons, ligaments here, bottom of the thigh. All this is taking the weight. You got that? Exhale. Looking down. Inhale. Exhale. So that is side angle posture. Now, so as I explained, these are the important points in that. And what is the next asana which we do? Parivarta Parshakonasana. I'll show this side. You can inhale in the position. See that I take effort to inhale so that my lungs improves. So many of the people, they are not consciously inhaling. They'll do only this much. Now the lung is not full. Now the next step will go wrong because the time taken for that step, your exhale will not be sufficient. Then you'll be forced to take an inhalation. So take the first breath itself correctly. Ekam, exhale. Long step. Dvi, inhale. This time, see, I turned the full body. Initially, I turned only the drishti. Did you observe that? In Parshakonasana. Here, I turned the body also there because this shoulder has to go to the other side. So I'm going to show you this way now so that you can view that. This is over. Now, when I exhale and twist, I have to bring this shoulder to the other side. Did you see that? So this shoulder has come to the other side of the knee. And then inhaling, stretch the left arm. Like that. Above the ear, on the ear. So this twist has to come. This shoulder, armpit has to come on the thigh, and the elbow and the shoulder has to come on the other side. I'll show you like this again. Here, when I do, I bring the shoulder this side, all in one exhale. Did you see that twist? That much has to come. And then inhale, raise the left hand. Inhale is over. Exhalation. One. Try to rotate. Three. Exhale, hand back. The other heel should not lift up. Inhale, stand up. Exhale, turn. Inhale, reduce the distance. Exhale, jump to the front. Samasthiti. So, did you observe the important points? In the first important point was the length of your step. Second important point is when you do the drishti on the hand, rotation of the shoulder, trying to bring the upper shoulder up and the lower shoulder down, stretching this side of the body in Parshakonasana. And in Parivarta Parshakonasana, bringing the shoulder to the other side and then stretching. So that action is also very important. The back heel should not lift up. The position of the knee 90 degree, all these things you have to take care. So any clarifications on Parshakonasana, Parivarta Parshakonasana? No issues. And then we go to Vrikshasana. Samasthiti. First, I take an inhalation. Ekam, exhale, left leg. Groin. Do inhale, hands up. Now exhaling. One more breath. Exhale, catch your waist. Inhale, leg front. Exhale, down. So, did you observe how much control I tried to make? The way I lifted, the way I inhaled, the way I kept the leg. What are the important things? When you keep it up, it has to come to the groin. Do you see any gap here? No gap. Heel is into the perineum, up, maximum up. The knee is facing sideways, not front like this. So all these small things are important to get that effect of what you're doing. These are simple things. So some people will keep like this because the mind is not. So when I say, what are the words I say? Ekam, inhale ho gaya. Ekam, exhale, bend the leg, keep your heel on the groin. That's the word I use. All the simple words, heel, groin. So your mind should work. Where is the heel? Where is the groin? Do you inhale, take the arms over your head and join the palm at the top. So the entire palm should be joined like this. You saw that. All the fingers, not like this, like this. No strength on like this. Children and all. Tanmay and all like this. Huh? What is that, Tanmay? So Vrikshasana or what is that? Huh? After this is not Vrikshasana. So I want you to control, to get that balance, looking at one point. All those things are required. Don't chat, okay? Tanmay, go back. No chatting. Nobody is reading your chat. I don't know why you're chatting. So that is Vrikshasana. Then, what is the next asana? Padangushtasana, Padahastasana. I'll show side view, it's better. So first step is inhale. Shoulder distance only. Don't keep it this much and all. Shoulder, see, this is my shoulder. My leg also same distance, about 1.5 foot. So essentially this distance will not be as wide as the mat. For example, see, my mat is 2 feet. So 2 feet is this much. This is not Padahastasana. Then it is easier to reach. The stretch will not come. The leg should be only this much, shoulder distance, 1.5 foot. Ekam. Inhale, catch your waist. Do exhale. Hook the toe. So now I'll show the side view. So I was here. Dwi. Hook the toe. Now, initially the elbows are bent. Trini, inhale, head up. You saw that extension. See, this head up is required. People are not lifting head up only. So I should not bend directly from there. First, I have to increase the length of my back. The vertebrae should come up first. So that height has to come. Concave back has to come. Then you have to deeply bend your body. So here come. Exhale, Dwi. Hook the toe. Trini, inhale, head up. Extend a concave back. Chatwari, exhale. Like inhale. Widen the elbow. Look deeper. More deeper. Third one. So that depth is required. Pancha, inhale, head up. See how much I came from here. Inhale, head up. That much travel is required. Shut, exhale, insert your palm. So when you insert the palm, it should be fully below the feet. So the wrist should be pressed with the feet. Like that. You see, the entire palm is below. And you're pressing the wrist with the feet, with the fingers. That much. Padahastasana. Exhale is over. To insert. Now again, inhale, head up. Concave the back. Then exhale.
deeper. Same style, 3 breaths. Like that. Then inhale, head up. Concave the back. Exhale, catch your waist. Sapta, inhale, stand up. Exhale. Jump to center.
Common mistake is that extension. So some people may not be making that extension. Try to take good extension. Another mistake is they bend like this.
They're blocking their elbow with the leg only. How will you bend? Will not bend. So either you take the elbow backward or widen it. See, don't keep it like it's okay to bend it back, but don't keep them straight and bent, blocking with your leg. Try to widen your elbow or take it backward, whichever you find comfortable. So essentially the elbow will bend.
In Padahastasana, elbow has to bend either backward or sideways. So that completes all the standing asanas. Any doubts in what I explained till now? No doubts. Okay, so we go to the next. What is the next asana? Paschimottanasana, Triyanga Mukha Ekapada Paschimottanasana, etc. So before that, there were some queries. I'll answer those queries first. Then I'll go to the other points. So one query is regarding Ardha Matsyendrasana, Pranayama, and the sitting asana. I'm not sure. Okay. One is regarding Ardha Matsyendrasana. So what is the step here? Samastiti. Tanmay and all. So you also don't know Ardha Matsyendrasana. You're taking leg, hand, many things you're doing without knowing what is to be done. So I'll show you this side, okay? This side. So I'll fold the right leg first. Samastiti. Ekam. Inhale, fold the right leg below the left knee. So I fold it and keep it below the left knee. You saw that? Completely folded to this side. It's an inhalation. Now, do we exhale? Keep the left foot on the right side of the right knee. So I take this leg, keep it on this side. This feet is fully grounded, fully kept on the floor. So this will look like a mountain. That is exhalation. Then, Trini, inhale, right hand up. Left hand at the back. Now, next step is the most important part. I have to twist and bring this armpit on this thigh. So exhale, bring the armpit on the thigh. Did you see that? This is the most important part of Ardha Matsyendrasana. So I was here. If you do this, gone. It will be like picnic. Huh? You came to picnic like this. Picnic में बैठा है. ऐसा नहीं. तो आपको इसको ट्विस्ट करके शरीर को ट्विस्ट करके आर्मपिट को यहां पे लाना चाहिए. मतलब Trini, inhale, hands up. With the twist, exhale and bring armpit on the thigh like this. So you can see there is no gap here. There is no gap. So I fix this armpit on the thigh, pushing this hand. That is why this hand was kept at the back. So everything is written in the book, nothing found out by me. So when you keep this hand back, it's easier to give this armpit lock. Inhale, lean a little back, exhale. And now first inhalation, look back. Pushing this hand. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. So after you have to take 3 breaths. So what is the important point here? This lock. Using this elbow, push this fellow inside. You have to push this knee inside using this elbow and bring the stomach outside. Bring this chest outside. Armpit on the thigh. So everything is out here. See, both the sides of the chest, stomach is partially out. This arm is on here. These are the tricks of Ardha Matsyendrasana. Okay. And then remaining else, everything will flow. Inhaling, look forward, release the hands. On the exhalation, release both the legs. So if you want, I'll show you the side view. So like this, Ekam, Dvi exhale, front view, Trini inhale,
Chatwari. Exhale. So that the twist comes. Your shoulder has come this side, you see, with that twist. Don't do this like this. Okay. That is Ardha Matsyendrasana. That was one question. Then another question was regarding pranayama and sitting asana. I don't know which asana you're talking about. So if you clarify the name of the asana, then I can. Sumati is there. Sumati Ganesh.
Sir, it's the one where you have to stretch your legs both in front and at the back. No, one leg is folded and others. No, you have to stretch both the legs. I think is it called Hanuman Asana or something? I'm not sure.
This one.
Yeah.
Okay. From here, you're going to do that, right?
Yes.
That is Ekapada Rajakapotasana. So Samasthiti. So I will show you my left leg. Ekam, inhaling, fold my left leg between the hand. Fold that leg. So now, if you sit like this, the asana is gone. So now here the leg is below the thigh. So you have to keep it inward and then sit like that. Did you see that? So this leg should be straight. If you see the side view, like front view.
Yeah, I can see, sir. I can see it.
Yeah. So you should get this feet here. At the same time, you should not sit like this also. You should not sit one side. You should sit straight only, but this leg will be folded. So don't fold it below the other thigh like this. Then you will not get proper stretch. And now it is kept below the thigh. So what you have to do is this leg should be kept inside, this just in front of the other leg. And then you have to sit properly like that. You saw that? Like this. So here you can see my sciatic nerve, back, all these are pulling and my back is arching. So you'll get a depth. So bottom of this bottom thigh, both are touching the floor and this leg is on the bent and kept in front of the other leg like that.
Okay. Right, sir.
Yeah. So,
yeah, I can see that, sir.
Yeah. So at the same time, so both sides should not go. You should not keep it like this also, and you should not sit sideways. Like you should not sit to one side here. It should be a straight facing asana, but the leg is bent. That's it.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. That is Rajakapotasana. Ekapada Rajakapotasana.
Sir, can you show Ekapada, this one, Piriyanga, after the Paschimottasana we do, no?
Yeah.
Can you show that without, and also the tricks to bridge the gap between the thighs?
Okay. Yeah. So, Samasthiti. Take an inhalation here. I'm showing this leg. Ekam, exhale, fold your left leg backwards. Now, am I visible? My knees are visible. Little, I think I'm not clear there. Okay, this is better, right? Okay. I'll show like this. So when I fold the leg, the knee will bend, right? It will twist. Exhalation, I bend the leg. And here, one important point that you can make is this calf muscle, no? Calf muscle can be brought outside the thigh. So keep it out. So then the knee will join. So like if you keep the calf muscle below the thigh when you fold like this, then it will be tough to bend the leg properly. So when you take the leg back, what you can do is, while exhaling, when you bend it back, with this hand, remove the calf. This is the calf muscle, no? Below the thigh. Remove the calf outside the thigh and sit like that. So you will get proper bend of the knee. You have to be careful when you do that, because you should not hurt the knee, because it will twist the knee like anything. So so when you bend the leg, keep the calf muscle outside the thigh. So you will get proper seating. Now the knees are together, pointing to the toe. Then inhale, arms up. and exhale, leading with the navel. Like that. Then inhaling, sit up. Point the toe, exhale. Inhale, release the leg. Exhale. So when you do that, try to bring calf out. So it will be easier to join the leg. Okay. So that's one tip that you can take from me, that folding the leg with the taking the calf muscle outside the thigh. Okay. That is Tiryanga Mukha Ekapada Paschimottanasana.
So two challenges what is faced during this asana is, one is the gap between the thighs, and the second is in Paschimottanasana I'm able to bring my body forward and bend, but here I'm unable to bring my body down. Actually, it's kind of one is my body tends to slide actually to one side, and then I'm unable to bring the body down actually.
Do you feel a, what do you call, a little difficulty on the hips or the knees? Where does it obstruct you? On the hips?
I think it's the tummy area, I think, sir. It's the tummy area, I think.
Okay. Yeah, so maybe the little stiffness on your hips may be causing that. Like when you fold, because this leg is bent, so the hip joint, the upper girdle joint, will not act very as easily as it was doing like this. Here, the joint will go easily forward. But here, since the leg is bent towards the back, it will take more effort to bring this side front, because one is the knee is there and the leg is folded back. So it's not easy to bring the leg forward, the body forward. So it may be a little stiffness on the hip, which is causing you that difficulty in bending forward. I think with experience, it will improve. Day by day, it will change.
There's a slight inclination to the other side.
Yeah, it's okay. That is normal, because this leg is folded. No, little weight will shift to the other side. That is, don't worry about it. So as much as possible, try to travel forward. And then, because the weight is on this side, this leg is folded, little weight will shift to the other side. That's fine.
Okay.
So this asana is good for all the knee problems generally. When you see the folding of the knee and all. So you see, for example, it is complementary to Padmasana. And it's also good for people having those knee effusion problems. When with old age, what happens when you stand like this? The knee becomes wider like this, and it protrudes, and after some age, their knee becomes wider. So for those problems, you are actually reversing that effect by sitting in that Virasana position. So when you do this way, your knee is folded in the other direction completely. It folds the other way and reduces that effusion effect of the. So it's ideally good for the knee joint.
Sir, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, I have a doubt, sir.
Yes. Who is that?
Prashanti.
Yeah, tell me, Prashant.
Sir, can we do this asana by using bricks so that we can sit properly?
You can try that, because it will. Only thing is, you should keep the bricks ready so that you get because after Paschimottanasana, if you have some pillows, you can use easier, I think. If you have pillows, the Paschimottanasana also you can do like that.
Okay.
Yeah. Here also you can do like this. Only thing is, you have to be careful.
Okay.
Yeah, you can do like this. It will give a little more easy to do. It will give a little elevation, and the knee will bend easily. You can use either bricks or use a small pillow below your hips.
You are sitting on the bricks, huh? Are you sitting on the brick?
Yeah, I'm sitting on the bricks.
Okay.
Even in some classes, they do Paschimottanasana with elevated back, because they are not able to bend forward. So they do like this. So it's okay to do it, but be careful, because all these props, you have to be very, very cautious. It should not hurt you. Because
Okay, sir.
you should know how to use them, because otherwise you may get an injury.
And another doubt, sir. Sir, can you show how to do Hanumanasana with the help of bricks or some other props?
Yeah. Prashanti, no?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. So I come to Samasthiti. So with bricks, very easy. Without bricks is the problem. So Ekam, inhale. With bricks, I will show you. And then I'll show you without bricks. So in the bricks, see, some people have not bought bricks. So I will request them to buy the bricks, because it's very easy with bricks in Hanumanasana. Inhale, step the left leg forward. Like that. This toe can be slipping toe. On the exhalation, slip the leg front. To ensure that the leg goes in front of the mat. See, now this knee is bending, but this knee is not bending. I'm getting the height using the bricks. One breath. So now I got the depth. So now the load on the hand is gone, because the full stretch came. Then inhale, walk back. Till the break. Exhale, back. So if you have bricks, you can keep this and get that elevation. Without bricks, when you do it, you should use the fingers, because many of you, the depth may not come. So you'll have to keep the fingers like that. Then, for example, you are starting from here. So you should not lean in this asana. Don't do like this. Don't lean forward. Try to bring your body up. So the more the leg goes forward, you have to bring the body up. Like that. Seniors must raise the hand. It's a full split. Inhale. Exhale.
Sir, is there any tip to bridge the gap between your thigh and the mat? Though forward, it's not completely touching the mat actually.
Yeah, it's like that only at the beginning. It takes long time. Only practice can take you there. Continuous practice. Because no, the bottom, the hamstrings, your gluteal muscle, everything has to elongate. So if you do too fast, like no, it may take few months or sometimes a few years to get that split. Because see, our own muscle has to gradually increase in length. No, it takes time for that length to come. If you go fast, then you may get a tear or something, like a hamstring tear and all. It's more difficult to heal it. So you have to tame your body parts to get there with time. Okay, I hope I'm clear on that.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then there was some question, because just about 10 minutes left. I'll talk about pranayama. There was a question regarding pranayama. So when you do pranayama, first thing is that it's a regulated breathing, right? So it takes time to inhale and exhale. It's not just a free breath. So when that fingers have to, so this is the way to catch the fingers. You can see these two fingers are folded. Other three fingers are utilized for pranayama. Keep them curled like this, curled, like a C shape. You can see the C shape. And middle two fingers are folded. Right hand is used always. The left hand will be in Dhyana Mudra. Then keep it on the nose like this. It should be tip of the finger. Don't keep finger straight like you have to curl it. Keep it like this. It's there. One video is there only for this mudra. Okay. Then now I'll show you the trick of the entire trick is on the finger. Now let me show you an inhalation without regulating. So you can see. See, imagine the finger is not there.
inhale is over. So maybe around 4 or 5 seconds. Now I'm going to show you inhalation, which is longer than that. How do? I just use those fingers as a tool to delay that breath. Now observe my inhalation. You can count, maybe around 12 seconds or so it will come, or maybe around 16 seconds. Now I'm going to inhale from this nostril, which is visible to you. Exhale everything. Now. That was one inhalation. Now, how many seconds did I take? I think maybe around 30 or 30 plus seconds. So, which took 4 or 5 seconds just before a while, where the fingers were not used. I delayed it to almost 6 times just by using the fingers. I don't know whether you were able to hear the sound. You were at least able to see the body language. I'll show you once more. I'll show you an exhalation from this side. Okay, so I'll show you an inhalation and an exhalation again. You can see a 30-second inhalation from the right nostril and the 30-second exhalation from the left nostril. I'm going to start now. Everything is exhaled. So did you see how I inhale from, this is one inhalation and one exhalation. I cannot continue this like the full cycle. I was just showing an example, how to delay the breath, how to delay the exhalation. What we do is just 8-second inhalation, 6-second holding, 8-second exhalation, and 4 seconds holding. It's very, very simple with experience. So just I wanted to tell you the principle is to use the fingers to slow down the breath. So it should not be like this. So that's a quick breath. There is no pranayama in that. Prana ayama. Prana means breath or life energy. Ayama means elongated, prolonged breathing. So you have to delay the breath. Now I will show you with the timing. Just observe how I do it with the timing. Starting from the right side.
Inhale.
Sorry. Starting from the right side. Everything empty.
Inhale. Retain. Exhale. Sustain. Inhale. Retain. Exhale. Sustain. Inhale. Retain. Exhale. Sustain. In.
So the idea, as I said, is to regulate the breath. It's like the lungs is pulling and the finger is stopping. So don't use pranayama fingers for just opening, closing. That's all preliminary, beginner level. The proper pranayama is done with regulated breathing. Slow, controlled inhalation, controlled exhalation, holding the breath inside, Antara Kumbhaka, and holding the breath outside, Bahi Kumbhaka. What I'm giving you, the timing is very, 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 very easy. Average counting, very simple. If you're not able to do that, is probably because your own experience, proper asanas are not being practiced. The expansion of the chest is not enough. The rise of the chest, when you do inhalation, the chest has to come up. It inflate. Unless you lift the chest, how will you inhale? If you think that, where is the chest coming? You are breathing only this part, maybe the middle part. The chest is not inflating up. Stomach is not inflating. It has to inflate. You have to fill up all the rib. The rib has to expand. So unless you do asanas like Ushtrasana, Bhujangasana, Setubandhasana, all these asanas, if you don't do the asanas, your body, the spine will not allow the chest to expand. The ribs will not expand. So that's why only a person who is doing proper asanas can do proper pranayama. Similarly, the other way also. If you don't do pranayama properly, your asana also will not come properly. Both are hand in hand. Okay, I hope I'm clear.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other queries? Otherwise, I'm going to stop now because it's already time, 5:45. Okay, so we close. So thank you for joining. We'll do the closing prayer. So inhale, take the arms over the head properly. Exhale, bring to heart center. Close your eyes. Inhale. Together. Swasti prajabhyaha paripalayantam nyayena margena mahim mahishaha gobrahmanebhyaha shubhamastu nityam loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Gently bow down. Thank God for today's practice. And come back. Thank you. Thanks for coming, all of you, for joining.
Thank you,
Keep
sir.
joining these classes. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye.
sir.
Yes, sir. Bye, sir.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Taking a trial class today? Yeah. Come. Take one slot gap when you're sitting, okay? You can be here, you can be there. You can take one from there. Take that blue mat. Namaskara.